We are now into our Friday, which means we are into the bulk of our expected lake effect snow today for Michigan. I'm Ryan, Michigan Storm Chasers here. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons here if you enjoy our content. We try to do these videos on a daily basis, giving you guys forecast updates and information for you guys. So if you like it, please let us know. Helps us out when you do. Looking at the forecast model today, we're looking at the HRRR model here showing accumulating snowfall, but also our snow bands. Go ahead and take a look at this. We zoom in here to our composite reflectivity type. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a Michigan look. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. So our typical lake effect snow belts here in Michigan up in the UP. Go ahead and take this full screen for you guys. And I'm actually going to pop this out. I just learned how to do this the other day. Pop it out. We can actually zoom in now. So looking at our forecast, we have typical lake effect bands in the western UP as well as the east central UP here, Sault Ste. Marie, Munising, Grand Marais areas. Some potent bands up here in northern lower by Gaylord as well, just south of Traverse City. And also we have some down here in southwest Michigan as well. That's going to dump a lot of snow. Not a lot, but impactful snow for these circled areas. Looking at the future cast here, going to go ahead and animate this. This is this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We get into the afternoon, we're going to see that intensify into the evening. And then by Saturday morning, this should be on its way out for you guys by your Saturday around sunrise time frame. Going back here to the last model run, the 12Z, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our accumulating snowfall according to the model here. So we're going to look at the Kushera method. There we go. Go ahead and animate this through overnight into Saturday afternoon. Here's Saturday tomorrow at noon. We're seeing 2 or 3 distinct corridors of higher accumulation, potentially one down here in southwest Michigan in Allegan and Barry, perhaps northern Kalamazoo counties there. We also have one up here around Gaylord, and that's going to be probably the most significant of the bands here, perhaps rivaling this one up here by Sault Ste. Marie in the east central part of the UP. So in those pink bands, you could get localized 8, maybe 9 or 10 inches of snow. But around there, notice how they're really thin in nature. It's pretty localized. We say this all the time. Localized snow bands are going to be very hard to predict. So some people, like over here in this little lighter blue area, you may have 2 or 3 inches, but you go 5 or 10 miles up the road, you're going to have 8 or 9 inches. So keep that in mind here as we move into Saturday. It's going to be very localized in nature, but we are seeing the overall picture here of lake effect snow from the western UP, the east central UP, and our snow belts here in western lower Michigan. We may actually accumulate some snowfall as far east today as perhaps the thumb area, Huron County getting those lake effect bands moving inward, but also keep this in mind as well down here in southwest Michigan, places like Calhoun, Hillsdale. I don't know why that happened, but Calhoun, Hillsdale, Branch County is getting in, and this model says 2 to 3 inches. Definitely a possibility. It's going to depend on band. It's going to depend on the lake effect banding today, so keep that in mind if you live in any of these blue or pinkish, purplish shaded areas. You may have a shot at snow, and also in southeast Michigan, no accumulating snowfall for you, but we do have some localized bands here that do show up, perhaps dumping a quick 1/2 inch to 1 inch of snow. So do keep that in mind. That travel on these highways like US 23 here, 69 up here, they may be briefly impacted by some snow squalls. It shouldn't be too big of a deal though. When all is said and done, we're going with around about 3 to 6 across West Michigan here, from about here all the way down to about there. We're going about 8 to 12 total up there in northern lower, and then again 8 to 12 up here when all is said and done. With that being said, Saturday afternoon should start tapering off our snowfall, and then we're going to move and focus in on the upcoming cold, but also keep an eye on that system we've been tracking in the past 4 or 5 days now. We're going to take a last peek at it here today, and we're going to go ahead and touch on the new data coming in. So first and foremost, if you're new here, we are tracking a system that is now moving onshore. It is right here as we speak. It is moving on to land here. And if you can't tell what this chart is, it's a chart of the U.S. Northern part of the globe here. Go ahead and take this zoomed in. We're going to see our Michigan is right here. There's America a bit better. And that low pressure just off the west coast is what we're kind of watching move on to land here. And as it moves on the land, it will be sampled today. So we're going to get a much better idea of what to expect here this afternoon and this evening. But it is getting very close. Data is becoming better. And as such, we are seeing some correction with the models. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the European. And I also want to touch on the GFS and Canadian as well, as those are the main global models that we use. So taking this back out and zooming into the Ohio Valley region, let me pop that back out. There we go. A little bit more zoomed in look for you guys here. We're going to notice a couple things here. So the European, especially if we looked at last night or yesterday's run, it has shifted south this morning, with most of the snow staying south of the Fort Wayne area now. Now, we did have one model come in last night, and it did shift north, but it's the one model that has shifted north. It's the GFS model. This is a 06 run where it shifted back south, but we did see an interesting shift on the 00Z last night, where it did try to wrap in some moisture on the back side of this, and it also kind of bumped it further north. The track kind of went a little bit further northeast than expected. But overall, that was one model run. You may see people on social media freaking out about it here in Michigan. It's no big deal. The latest model run here at 06Z did kind of shift that back to our south here, but at the very least, we may at very most, should I say, along 94 here, Lenawee, Monroe, Hillsdale, Branch, St. Joseph, Cass, Berrien, those counties in South Michigan, you may, if you're lucky, pick up an inch or two out of the system, but overall, I think it's trending to the south. We're going to finalize a forecast and get it out to you guys later this evening. Overall, this is going south of us. I don't think there's any way we're going to get a bump north here this afternoon. If we do, we'll let you know. In fact, if we do see a significant shift north, I'll probably make a second video here later today. But if you don't see that, it's going south of us. With that being said, this system is going to, again, usher in our Arctic air, looking at the next several days of temperatures here in Michigan. This is based out of Detroit. We are seeing 20s. I don't see a 30-degree day in the next 10 to 15 days here. Starting with today, 26 degrees, and we drop off here 20. These are high temperatures in yellow, low temperatures in blue there. We are seeing a Arctic air mass set in, and winter is honestly winter. So winter is here. But I want to highlight the time frame around the January 7th period to around the January 13th or January 11th period. This time frame right here will be the time frame to watch for anything in terms of significant cold, like below zero wind chills and stuff like that. Models here hinting at single-digit temperatures here. We have a 10-degree low, a 7-degree low. These are air temperatures, not wind chills. So we're likely going to flirt with our below zero wind chills here in the next couple of days here. But overall, we're not going to rise above freezing. So what snow does fall in the next 15 days is going to be here to stick for a little while. So with that being said, I think we're going to pop out of here. Just want to highlight one more thing before I do, and that is the CPC CPC temperature outlook. It does continue that 6 to 10 day period of below average probabilities for temperatures in the eastern half of the U.S., including Michigan. So it's going to be cold. And I think that's going to be the next snowy system or next potential or next time frame to keep an eye on here in Michigan for hazardous temperatures. As far as future winter systems, we're not really seeing anything past this besides some clipper systems potentially, but it does turn active again toward that mid to late part of the month. So perhaps a little bit of a week or two, 10-day or so break of some synoptic systems, but we're going to go right back into that pattern here to end January and to start February as well. So winter lovers, don't lose hope. We're not done with winter by any means. We do still see an active pattern here to close out January and to start February. With that being said, I'm going to pop out of here. Before I do, shout out to our sponsor today. We're going to go Lifestyle Exteriors, 989-854-3055. They're based out of Lansing. They do a bunch of exterior work on your residential homes. Thank you to Lifestyle for sponsoring our video. We could not continue our operations here without them. We'll catch you guys tomorrow on another YouTube update video here at Michigan Storm Chasers YouTube channel.